Hello, we are live. This is Taylor Talks Comics live. We do this show every week on Wednesday at noon Eastern. If you're here live with us, please drop some comments in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, then drop some comments down below, and we will. I will always reply to your comments after the show. If you watch us later on the week. But yes, my name is Taylor. This is Taylor Talks Comics. All the links are down below for my Discord and all my other social media. If you want to see more comic book content on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot. I do. Continuing. Sorry, I'm going to read the chat. I do want to wish you a happy Skyscraper Day. It's a National Skyscraper Day. I don't know what that means, but that's what today is. Also, a happy birthday to Shaun White, snowboarder, skateboarder extraordinaire, and Charlie Sheen. It's his birthday as well. Also born today was Glenn Bell, the founder of Taco Bell. Little anecdote as well. Interesting. So, if any Taco Bell fans in the house? Let's see what the chat's talking about so far. Books. Yes. And James Abel with the books emoji. Hello, Dana. How are you doing? Appreciate you putting on a brave face and continuing these after you peaked, aka me. Oh, yes. Last week I had Josh Greathouse on the show. He is referring to me. The peak of the show's existence was when he was on. I do want to plug, though, Josh Greathouse will be on Near Mint Condition tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for a live interview with Omar. Also, to talk about Bang, Ballad of the Tiger, this Kickstarter that's taken the world by storm, over 50% funded. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Here's the Discord from moderator extraordinaire James. So we do have a lot to talk about today, a lot of news topics to talk about. Here's the link to Kickstarter as well. The Kickstarter for Bang. Also some banners prepped for this too. Take a look at this. The banners are back. I've been failing to do that lately. But yes, you can shop over at Panelbound Comics. Use my promo code Taylor Talks Comics, all one word, Taylor Talks Comics, and that'll save $2 off of your order. Or if you plan on ordering 4 or more books at Panelbound Comics, bigger order, you can get bigger savings with TTC Ship It Together. That's all one word. TTC Ship It Together. Save 5% off your order there. And then also don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. Super chats are always welcome and super appreciated. And then let's get back to the chat. All right. So up first, I can do my haul because I didn't haul very much, but I could talk about some stuff that I got. I haven't opened this one yet. This one is it was just packaged in this bag, so I'm curious what it'll look like. Oh, it came out okay. This is 20th Century Boys, the Viz Big Edition, Volume 10. So, like, if you've been a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that I've said in October I'll be doing my 31 days of horror comics. So every day of October I'll be releasing a video talking about a different horror comic or horror comic related topic. And I'm prepping all those videos ahead of time. So then in October, while you guys are watching those videos, my goal is to read through all of 20th Century Boys because I've not finished it before. I've only read all the way through volume 8 or 9. No, 8. I read through volume 8 before. So this will be my first time reading through the finale of it. I still need to pick up volume 11 and then 21st Century Boys. So I'll be doing that. And then these are from a friend of a friend. I don't know if I'm supposed to mention who these came from. The person might be in the chat who sent these, but I'll show them off anyways. But this is Slain. I think it's pronounced Slania or something different. I always get told I'm pronouncing it wrong. But this is not the Simon Bisley era. This is the era of Massimo Bellardonelli Angie Kincaid, and Mike McMahon. So I'm really excited to read this. I never read anything that wasn't Bisley, and I haven't even read that much Bisley's Slain, to be honest. But it's a Conan-like series from 2000 AD. I guess we got to be careful showing off the artwork there. So I'm excited to read that. But the most exciting thing that I got was this. I didn't realize this book was so big. So I failed to pick these up since they started coming out. This is Nemesis Warlock Volume 1. So I'm super stoked that the person sent this to me. They're huge, though. Like, let me see if I can find a normal-sized comic. Look at this. I have Favorite of the Show. Angel Love. Look how big that thing is. I thought these were just like normal trade paperback size. But I guess it fits the trim size of the original 2000 AD progs that came out. Oh, there's a lot of process stuff in here from Kevin O'Neill. So the reason why I want to read this is because I love Kevin O'Neill. He's one of my favorite artists. And I've only read some of these in the artist edition that they released, or the Apex edition that 2001 AD released. I have a video on my channel showing off the Kevin O'Neill Apex edition. If one of the mods want to show a link off for that. But Kevin O'Neill's artwork is just absolutely amazing. And look at that. Alan Moore with the blurb. Nobody draws like Kevin O'Neill. Absolutely true. So I think they've released 3 so far, and then the 4th one comes out in November. So I need to catch up on volumes 2 and 3 before 4 comes out. But I'm super excited to read this. I just love Kevin O'Neill's artwork. And this is earlier Kevin O'Neill before he really got into the Kevin O'Neill style. It looks like that comes in a little bit later this volume. But Kevin O'Neill, he drew League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He drew Martial Law. He had a bunch of backup strips in the Green Lantern back in the day. Dun, 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 dun. Those are the original ones. There are 3 of those. The Bisley is a retelling. Okay, so this is the original Slain stories by Pat Mills. Give me awesome. That Slain is the same as Definitive Volume. Okay, so they've recently released definitive editions of Slain similar to this treatment, which they do this with a lot of their series, which is really cool. Because 2000 AD puts out a ton of comics. A ton of different series, more than just Judge Dredd. And I like that they've been doing these definitive editions. I'm terribly behind on collecting any of them, even though I'd love to have all of them. So yeah, they've done Slain in the same format. And this, Josh is saying that this replicates the contents of the first one. So that's good to know. There are 5 in total of Nemesis. But 4 hasn't come out yet, right? Like 4 and 5 still haven't come out. Dana's got a mini haul. EC Archives, Two Fisted Tales, Volume 2 in paperback. And Where is Jake Ellis? By Nathan Edmondson and Tonsi Zonjic. I love Tonsi Zonjic. A modern-day Toth. That name sounds familiar. Did he do some Black Hammer stories? I think he did a Black Hammer series with Jeff Lemire. Oh, he's doing Black Hammer the End. Skulldigger. Yeah, he was a Skulldigger artist, right? Wow, I didn't know. I've wanted to read more comics by him, by Tonsi Sinjek, but it fell off my radar. But Skulldigger art was amazing. I love that series. I love all Black Hammer. I could talk about Black Hammer all day, every day. Badger Stump with the pronunciation here. I think it's pronounced Slanye from the Gaelic. Yes, so everyone pronounces it Slain, every dumb American, I guess. But yes, Slanye. Pat Mills wrote both of those, and Martial Law. That's true. So Kevin O'Neill and Pat Mills worked on this together, Nemesis Warlock, and then went on to work on Martial Law together. And Pat Mills, co-creator of Judge Dredd and co-creator of 2000 AD. 4 and 5 have not come out yet. Okay. Yes, he did. And some Lobster Johnson. Ooh. I love Lobster Johnson. That's some good. Oh, here we go. Tonsi Sinjek did some Lobster Johnson. That's some good old pulp comics. I still need to pick up the second omnibus, actually. I only have the first hardcover. The second hardcover is probably out of print now, isn't it? I love Tonsi and need more of him. Have you read Skulldigger, Josh? Or Black Hammer, for that matter? Thank you, Super Laugh Heart, for sending those. Passing to Taylor. Okay, I didn't know if I was supposed to mention it, but yes, these came from Super Laugh Heart originally. He sent them to Josh. Josh upgraded his editions. I'm assuming he got the definitive edition of Slain. In the hardcover of these, he showed off in my Discord. But I don't mind these paperbacks. I think it's the same trim size even. Those hardcovers look beautiful, I will say. But I don't need to track those down because I know they go out of print pretty fast. And these paperbacks look beautiful in their own right. I can't wait. It's gonna be hard for me to not dive into Nemesis Warlock though, because I'm trying to read all my horror comics to prep those videos for October. So like all of September for me is being spent reading horror comics so that I can get them ready for October. I don't know if I can. I'm going to put that away though, because I've been wanting to read Nemesis for a very long time. You can still find the second one, but I wouldn't wait. Of the hardcovers, the paperbacks are the same. I'm just an idiot. You're not an idiot, Josh. I know what it's like to want the beautiful hardcover editions of these. So I do want to show off some Kickstarters real fast too. So let's bring those up. How will this work? Not the right way. Okay. I'm trying to find a more smooth way of, without having a million tabs open at once, to transition into these things. But I've yet to find that. So I even did something different this week and it doesn't seem to be working as smoothly. All right, let's share my screen. Da-da-da. Go back. Bear with me for one moment, please. There we go. All right. So this is Bang, Ballad of the Tiger. We talked to Josh Greathouse last week about this. He's got 56 backers so far, 22 days to go. He is at, there's no percentage on the screen, but I think it's just over 54, 55%-ish. Well, 50% would be what? 1750. So he's over 50%, 55% maybe. But regardless, he's not met his goal yet, and we need to help him out. So back this project. If you're overseas and you don't want to pay for shipping, there are digital PDF versions available on this project. So check that out as well. If you want to see more of Bang, I did a video on it, showing it off in great detail for the first 2 volumes. This Kickstarter is for the 3rd volume, and but you can pick up all 3 volumes through the Kickstarter. It's just a launching of the 3rd volume. So if you need volumes 1, 2, and 3, they are available through that. And also, again, a quick plug, Josh will be on Near Mint Condition YouTube channel tonight at 6:30 with Omar to do an interview talking about Bang. And excuse me, Omar's got way bigger following than I do, so I'm hoping that will. I'm hoping that his interview tonight on Near Mint Condition will help him out with the getting some more backers. Here's the link to Bang, Ballad of the Tiger in the chat from James. Josh says it's at 57%, and no one has gotten a PDF. All right. No one has done the PDF only version. So if you're overseas, not wanting to pay shipping, back the PDF. And that's to say the PDF only, because if you buy the physical copy, you do get the PDF also with that. So that's what Josh means by that. Then I also want to share. Oh, no. Not a smooth transition, Taylor. Bad job. Bad job. I'm going to try this. I found a new trick here. Look at that. Okay. So this is Ocho. My favorite part, 228-page trade paperback. Ocho is an alien from a far-off planet sent to help and assimilate to the human condition. In this arc, Ocho gets a girlfriend. So this is, he's met his goal. Eric Mangle has met his goal here. He's got 30 backers, 2018. Sorry, his goal was 2,500. He's got $815. I can't talk today. But this is a long, ongoing mini comic series that's been self-published since the mid-90s. And and I will have my video showing off Ocho. I've got my favorite part, the exact book that he is showing off, or he is selling in his Kickstarter. My video for that will drop Friday morning. My review of that, if you want to get a closer look in the interiors, we got 11 days to go. So a little less than 2 weeks there, if you want to back that. Really, really great stuff there. And then the last one is the Marc Maron graphic novel with Z2 Comics. So I wanted to talk about this last week, but we got cut short because, I was talking to Josh too long. That's what it was. But this has not launched yet. It's a notify me of launch. And I will say, I really wish this notify me of launch Kickstarter thing really kind of annoys me because I wish I had a date attached to it at least. Because some of these are just like ambiguous. They're notify me of launch, but then the launch could be like 3 months away. But I think it is coming relatively soon. And it's already been funded, they said. So the book's going to be made regardless. I think the Kickstarter is just going to come with some extras. I think there's even some memorabilia from Marc Maron's studio with the WTF podcast available as some of the perks you can purchase with the Kickstarter. But Box Brown's awesome. I highly recommend a lot of his books. His Tetris book about the history of Tetris sounds boring, but I'm telling you, it's super thrilling. He did a biography comic about Andre the Giant, one about Andy Kaufman, one about Vladimir Putin and how he came to power. And he did a Child Star. It's like a fictional comic about a child actor, child star. Oh, he also recently did the He-Man and the toys, like the history of the 80s toys comic. And then he did publish a print version, but he's still working on more of this. It seems to be like his daily strips or weekly. I don't know how often he does them. About the legalization of marijuana is a comic that he's been working on also. So he's an awesome cartoonist, great storyteller, especially with nonfiction material. So this will be really, really great. Marc Maron is hilarious. One of the great podcasters ever. So, and it does look like based on the picture, there will be a hardcover and softcover version of that. So those are some Kickstarters coming out that are out now or coming out in the near future. Oh, wait. Jordan, good morning, everybody. How you doing, Jordan? Thank you for joining us. Here's the Ocho link for Ocho, my favorite part, Kickstarter. Taylor is learning. Well, better me than AI, right? Had a pretty cool haul this week, Taylor, including somehow getting one of the 10 ROM Ocular editions on Ian Chalgren made. Wow, that's amazing. I got I showed it off a couple weeks ago. He sent me one of the Marvel. Oh, you're talking about it here. Speaking of which, I was talking to Ian the other day and figured you would be proud to know you got his last copy of the Covers book. Yeah, he told me that in the DMs, and when I thanked him, he told me I got the last of the Ocular editions for the covers, and it is a beautiful book. I have it right here, actually. I showed this off on one of my hauls on a live show a couple weeks ago, but this was a book that Ian made himself as his business card to take around to book publishers saying, this is what I can do with book design, hire me. And he has since got a lot of jobs designing books, and he's doing amazing work. But the ROM one was cool too. That was the first one I think he sent to Cartoonist Kayfabe, and they showed off on their channel. And then the Marvel Covers one was the second one he sent to them. And that's how I came to know Ian, because I was a big Cartoonist Kayfabe viewer. Here's a link to the Kickstarter WTF graphic novel. If you're interested in clicking on the notify me on launch. Harvey P. Cart's Ghost is in the house. Maron's new special was fantastic. I agree. It was hilarious. And Marc Maron, he's just a funny guy. And he's one of those guys that is super intelligent and as far as observing the human condition and what's happening in society today and things. He has a very nuanced way of viewing that, which are my favorite kind of comedians, to be honest. What else do we got in the news here? Let me close out some of these tabs. We have some other upcoming comics. Oh, let me do this one. Yeah, I really definitely need a smoother way to do this. The problem is when I have all these tabs open, it slows down my computer, so I had to like save the links for it. And then error. What? How is there an error? I'm trying to pull these up. Some comics coming out soon. We got one from Archie Comics, one from Image Comics, one from Act 4 with some more details on that one. And sorry, I'm just trying to filibuster while I'm pulling these up here. Okay, so this segment of the show, I just show off cool comics that are coming out that caught my eye. If there's any comics that are coming out in the future, by all means, drop it in the chat or the comments, and I can show them off on the show. I'm not totally aware of every single comic coming out. I just like to show off the ones that I think look cool and talk about them. So I'm going to present. Oh, Harvey, that's very interesting. I wasn't aware of that, but could you tell me where it's available in the chat and I'll pull that up as well. Okay, so this is Liam Sharp brings back Spawn the Dark Ages with a gritty new miniseries. I'm a huge Liam Sharp fan. I loved his and Grant Morrison's run on Green Lantern. Liam Sharp was working on his own series. I forget what it's called. I'm drawing a blank now. For Image, but I know he's very open on social media too about what's going on. And the so like he was talking about sales were not very good and things, and he even tried to work out the format because he originally did like single issues for that series and then a graphic novel format. But that didn't work out. And then he was working on a Conan series for Titan, and for whatever reason, Conan's been doing big for Titan right now. Like with the Jim Zub run and all the other reprints of the old stuff. I have no idea why they eventually told Liam Sharp to stop working on the Conan series and then they're not going to do it. I think that might be like they might still be printing it in some format one or another. But Liam Sharp artwork on Conan is like mind-blowingly amazing as an idea. He showed some of the pages that he'd worked on previously. I think I might even show those off on a way long ago old episode of Taylor Talks Comics Live. But regardless, I love his artwork. So now he's working on Spawn the Dark Ages, which is kind of that same sword and sorcery style comic. Starhinge, that's the series that he worked on his own with Image. And there is some artwork to show off here. Maybe. Here's the cover. But Liam Sharp's artwork is just absolutely amazing. If you want to see the true range of what he can do with art too, like because he's got some range, he can work in a million different styles. Then this is a Ryan Brown variant cover there. Just read that Green Lantern series that he did with Grant Morrison, and he works in like every style imaginable throughout the entire run. We still need that series to be put into an absolute or omnibus edition for sure. So you don't get to see too many interiors, but Liam Sharp is writing and drawing this, which is cool. And Todd McFarlane says, I've been waiting a long time to get Liam back on this book. His vision for the Dark Ages Spawn wowed me decades ago, and I couldn't be more excited for fans to finally see his return. Expect stories that are gritty, dangerous, and unflinching, because survival in this world is anything but guaranteed. So I've never actually read the original Spawn Dark Ages that Liam Sharp did. I need to hunt that down. Have they done a collected edition, perhaps? But regardless, I'm super stoked for that. And then we have some more details on the Steve Ditko Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition from Act 4 / Skybound. So let me pull this up. It's coming from AIPT. comix.com. So they announced it at they announced it at San Diego Comic-Con. This will be arriving May 2026 and kicks off a multi-book collaboration with Marvel Comics. So the oversight, oh wow. This is going to be 15 by 22. Holy shnikes. That's like, I think that's as big as the Batman Year One Artist Edition, which is amazing. Sorry, I'm getting more info on here. Okay. Harvey sent me a link to the Matt Allison book. I'll get to that in a second. So this will be the same size as the Batman Year One Artist Edition, which is amazing and huge. Because that was the paper they were working on. Marvel was, they didn't move to 11 by 17 until later in the 60s, I believe. So it's going to be true to size to the artwork that Steve Ditko was working on, and it's going to include every page of Amazing I can't even get it out. I'm so amazed. Every page of Amazing Fantasy 15, which is Spider-Man's debut. Am I not sharing the screen? Oh, the ad popped up. Gosh darn it. Okay. Every page of Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 33, often hailed as Ditko's masterpiece. Alongside these classic tales, readers will find dozens of splash pages, story pages, covers, and even rare, never-before-seen illustrations from the early 60s, all scanned directly from the original art. So I talked about this on the video I did with the book Spider-Man panel by panel. That was the first time I'd ever seen the original art pages for Amazing Fantasy 15. They included every page in there, which is awesome. Those pages are at the Library of Congress. An anonymous donor donated them to the Library of Congress, and every page is there. You can go there and pull them out and look at them. And apparently they let Scott Dunbier scan those pages in for this project, which is amazing. I'm so glad they did that. That was the exact thing I said when I was reviewing that book, was that I hoped Scott Dunbier can get his hands on these pages. So it'll include 2 full issues, Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 33. And here's the cover. We saw that before. And there's an alternate cover, which we have not seen, or at least I've not shown on my show, which is is that the issue? What cover is that? I don't know what issue number that is. That's not 33, is it? But it's cool that you see all those little heads, Steve Ditko drawing all over there, which Steve Ditko did invent the corner box. So I like the Steve Ditko logo there too at the top left. It's like a silhouette, because Steve Ditko often didn't like his picture being taken. So this is amazing. I can't wait for that. And then one more comic I'm going to show off before I get to Harvey's show and tell. This is coming from bleedingcool.com. Is 2 franchises I love that I didn't know ever needed a mashup, but it'll be Archie and Army of Darkness will be having a crossover through Dynamite Comics. There's already an ongoing Archie, Betty and Veronica meet Red Sonja and Vampirella crossover that Dynamite has done. And this will be Archie and the Army of Darkness. There's no images yet of the art or anything. This is merely an announcement, but it will be interesting. Does it say the creative team on this? I don't even know if they've announced the artist. By Imichu, Nick Barucci. See, I don't think they've announced the creative team just yet, but that's an interesting pairing. Archie and Army of Darkness. So there's some comics coming out soon. Let's see what everyone is sharing. All right, so this is what Harvey said, which I'm going to find. He sent me the link. No, that's not what this one. Matthew Allison's new comic is available now. And it said it's available on his eBay store, and it sent me a link. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can pull this up without doxing myself my own eBay account. But Matthew Allison, he did a Kankor, which was an amazing comic. I got the hardcover. I think that was a Kickstarter. If it wasn't Kickstarter, it was some other crowdfunder. And okay, Harvey Picar's Ghost is saying that Matthew Allison is selling it through his eBay store because they can do international sales easier. So that's nice. Matt Allison notices he has a lot of international readers. Is it? Oh, Sweet Sepulture? Is that what it is? Number 1? Yes, it's $7.99. All right, I could share my screen. If you're not familiar with Matthew Allison's work, though, check out Kankor. Absolutely amazing artist. And why is this not working? And that comic was crazy because I thought it was just gonna be a cool like art comic that like didn't have a lot of. It wasn't very like a literary masterpiece. It was just a cool art kind of comic, but actually blew me away with the story in there. It was kind of mind blowing how he kind of flips it on its head. I need to do a video on Kankor. But this is Sweet Sepulture, number 1, $7.99. Here's some of the artwork. Matthew Allison. There's the cover. Oh, there's the front cover and back cover. His art is awesome. And he also has on his store options to buy this with a copy of Kankor, the hardcover. Oh, you can get signed and unsigned copies. How much is a signed copy? The signed copy is only $12.99. Not bad. What's the shipping on this bad boy? $5.99 shipping. All right. I might have to check that out. I'm a big fan of Matthew Allison. Thanks for letting me know, Harvey. Again, if there's any other comics that you guys are aware of coming out soon, by all means, let me know. Jordan, did you hear about or pick up the new Charles Byrne release last week? It was another one of his super limited print risographs. I did not, Jordan. I'm sorry. I know. I think it went live when I was going live on my channel. Charles Burns, he's been pumping out these risograph things, and I need to pick some of them up because I'm a huge Charles Burns fan, but it's just like one of those things that picking up, I don't know, I can't pick up everything, but it does look super cool. I need to get the old Spawn Dark Ages. Loved Stonehenge and Ore. Yeah, Ore is the, is that in the same universe? Ore was like the graphic novel, right? Thank you for joining me, John, by the way. What new Charles Burns release? It was a risograph, like zine of his artwork. Like it wasn't a new comic or anything. It was just like a zine of his art. Panelbound Comics link for Spawn the Dark Ages trade paperback, the complete collection. There you go. And make sure you use my promo code Taylor Talks Comics, all one word, to save $2 off your order. How many, let me pull it up. How many issues are in that? I don't even know how many issues Liam Sharp did back in the day for Spawn Dark Ages. Because I think it's a trade paperback, right? Yes. Oh, it's $50 cover price. This has to be pretty big then, right? Oh, issues 1 through 28. Wow, that's a fat trade paperback. I guess I can share my screen. I don't know why I'm not letting you join in on the fun here. No. Man, I've been really slow on the present screen today. I know that makes terrible video, but thank you for bearing with me. So yeah, here's the Spawn Age. I know this came out recently. It just like kind of flew off my radar. It came out in December. Okay. We have writing by Brian Holgan, Steve Niles. That's cool. Artwork by Angel Medina, Nat Jones, and Liam Sharp. Cover art by Ashley Wood. So it's $49.99 cover price, but you get it for $40 on PBC. And you get it for $38 if you use my promo code. 5% off if you order it with 3 or more books. So 28 pages, or 28 issues. So that's got to be like 500 pages or so. Interesting. I might have to pick that up. Thanks, Josh, for letting me know. And thank you for sharing the PBC link. I asked Act 4 yesterday. They said Danger Girl is coming in June. That's via the Kickstarter. Dana, it came out on Partners and Son last week, which is like the Philadelphia shop, right? It's called There Will Be Tears. It's a 32-page risograph. It's sold out in about 45 minutes, but there are pictures of it on Partners and Son. So there you go, Dana, if you want to check it out. There Will Be Tears. Correction. Mike, thank you for joining me. The upcoming slate of artist editions is going to break me. I agree. It's insane, especially what Act 4 is doing over with Skybound. It seems like Scott Dembier has not taken his foot off the gas since moving over to his own publishing company. He is actually flooring it as far as putting these out now. Here's my panel by panel video if you want to check that out. It's a really cool book. They did a Fantastic Four one too, which I have a video on. I think the alternate Ditko cover was a pinup in an annual. Okay, that makes sense. Which I think that's probably a lot of what will be in the book too, is those pinups that Ditko did. Jordan, I got mine yesterday. That's fast shipping. Finally picked up the new Juliette Colette comics with it. Yeah, Harvey, you ordered that like a week ago this minute and it already came. That's cool. Haha, Bruce Campbell not going to get a dime of this. Yeah, unfortunately. I have not read any Army of Darkness comics. Has anybody in the chat read any of those? They released a bunch. I think they even have like a couple trade paperback omnibuses of them. And I do love the Army of Darkness and Evil Dead franchises. Evil Dead 2 is, the best of all of them. But so I've always kind of wanted to read those, but I haven't. Are they good comics? Fun comics? Jughead and the Deadites. That'll be fun. Matthew Allison rules. I have all his stuff and 4 incredible newspaper comic themed commissions from him. That's awesome. You can get a collection of the previous Burns Rhizozines. Where? There's a collection of them? Is that from Partners and Sons as well? Yep. Charles Burns is doing a signing and will be interviewed at CXC 2 weeks from Friday. Yes, so if you're in or around the Columbus, Ohio area at CXC, Crossroads. I always forget the name of it. Crossroads Cartoonists. Crossroads. I sound like an idiot. Hold on. Crossroads Cartoonist Columbus. Cartoon Crossroads Columbus. CXC. And Charles Burns will be there, which is amazing. Last year they had Dan Klaus, which is an amazing guest. This year they're having Charles Burns. A fifth of Jack Gaming, thank you for joining me. Good afternoon, Taylor, Josh, and the chat. Figure I will chill out. I run off to pick up lunch. Thank you for joining me. Everyone go check out A Fifth of Jack Gaming's YouTube channel. And Josh is thanking him because A Fifth of Jack Gaming also did a review of Bang Ballad of the Tiger, which is awesome. I have. It kind of hurts since I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan. So how are the comics? No problem, buddy. Thank you for shouting out the channel. Oh, here we go. They're good. And then they keep going after the Reanimator with Sanford Green when I dropped off. That's the crossover that really caught my eye because I love the Reanimator. The Reanimator is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I'm totally, I'll say that unashamed, unabashed. I don't care if you think that movie sucks. I love that movie. And so, of course, naturally, every time I am watching a movie, I'm like, are there any comics of this character? And I didn't realize there are a lot of Reanimator comics. So I need to read those. But I did see there's a crossover of the Reanimator in Army of Darkness, which I need to read. I've not read any of the Reanimator comics. I've not seen any of the sequels either. The first one is the only one I watched, and I love it. I watch it every year. Cornelius collected it. Okay. I read a reprint of the original Army of Darkness Marvel adaptation, and it has amazing John Bolton artwork. I love those movie adaptations. I'm a sucker for them. I don't care what anyone says. Whenever I find a movie adaptation comic, I want to read it, especially if it has cool art or good artist on the book. And the one I want to hunt down is the Blade Runner series from back in the 80s, and also the Dune series. I think Sienkiewicz is the artist on that one. There's a Fifth of Jack Gaming YouTube channel link. Thank you, James, for that. Yeah, Bound Up the Army of Darkness comics a while back. There are some fun gems in there. Nothing mind-blowing, but good fun if you're a fan. That's all I wanted too. I don't expect it to be, you know, the Citizen Kane of comics or like Watchmen or, you know, the most amazing comic I've ever read. I just want them to be fun, goofy fun. Thank you, Taylor and James, for sharing love. There's pretty cool John Bolton adaptation of the first Evil Dead movie. Okay. So did John Bolton do, is there an Evil Dead 2 adaptation though? Because that one would make it for a fun comic. Agree. I feel like they hit the mark. Okay. I'm going to have to seek those out then. Because that's all I want. I just want them to be like nice and faithful to the, movies and be fun comics. Probably way and get it from, I don't know, tears of the that partners is some pure activity stock stuff. Okay. Thank you, Harvey, by the way. I just got your DM. He's sending me some info on the Cornelius published Charles Burns collection. Let's see. What other news do I have? Oh, some Fantagraphics books popped up. Let's go over those. So I went over the Fantagraphics catalog, as I do every time there's a new catalog. But after the catalog gets posted, there's some Fantagraphics Undergrounds, which is like their imprint, where they do like small print run. In it, I don't really know the logistics around what makes it a Fantagraphics Underground book, because it's not always creator owned stuff. Like they did the John Severin Western book was Fantagraphics Underground. I think it just means they're smaller print run, and usually one kept to one run. Those books are. And typically most of them are like pushing the limits of like, you know, like underground comics with an X a little bit, but I feel like I don't know. But regardless, those pop up separately than the catalog, so they're not usually in the catalog. And also there's a book, they're doing more Disney ongoing single issues, which I want to show off. Oh wait, hold on. We got some before I get to that. Okay. No, Taylor, they are better than Watchmen since you know they are fun. Watchmen is a fun comic to read. Do you not like Watchmen, Josh? I feel like you don't like Watchmen. If you don't like Watchmen, we might have some issues. On the Burns, that isn't good for everybody. If you don't, you like what you like, but for Josh in particular, I might have some issues. On the Burns Rise Up Collections question, I know the Switch zines got collected in a hardcover, and the free SHIT zines got collected. I wish the process zines would get a collection though. Yeah, the free SHIT one was through Fantagraphics. I know that one. That's like a smaller mini comic hardcover, which is really cool. Panel Bound Comics, the Army of Darkness movie adaptation for the 30th anniversary. That's the one with John Bolton artwork, I'm assuming. So there's a link to that. Use my promo code. Jordan McLean, did you get the Bonsai Charles art scene? Fantagraphics Underground is basically about print runs. Oh, yeah, you said it as I typed it. You're breaking up. Oh, no. It does have a low signal on my Wi-Fi. Connection is unstable. I don't know. I'm going to keep rolling with it. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it clears up. There's not really much I can do. There's not a storm or anything. I don't know what's going on. I can't remember if it's 2, but I know Bolton did Army of Darkness adaptation 2. Audio is good. Video quality is getting bad. What the heck? Let me check out my second screen here. I don't know if I need to reset. Bear with me for a moment here. It is coming in real fuzzy. Let me hold on a second. Bear with me. Hold on a second. Is that better? I think I cleared it up a little bit. No? Still not clear. What in the heck? Hold on, guys. Okay, it's better? I was saying it's better. Not great, but better. Okay, keep rolling with it. Sorry about that. Charles Burns has a new free SHIT that's been spotted at his recent appearances last year, so wish we could get a copy. Maybe we'll have them at CXC. Those bonsai art zines are dope. At college, I had to take a history of comics. All Watchmen was spoiled, so yeah. Like you, okay. I think we've had this conversation before. That sounds familiar. Agreed, I've been scooping them up as they release them. Better, not great. Well, I don't know what to do. If you're on Wi-Fi... Here, let me try something. Everyone, stick around. Bear with me. I'm going to try to work on something. Just a moment. See if that cleared it up at all. All right, it's still fuzzy. I can't. Have you tried plugging it? I'm trying to. I'll join and then you can reset. But I don't know if. Hold on, I think it's working now. I think we're good. It's not. My second screen looks clear. Way better. Okay. Oh, that's the worst we can see. Josh, get out of here. Okay. We're good now. It looks good. I don't know. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I have really, really good internet. I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, it cleared up. Thank you guys. Thank you for bearing with me. I know it's annoying when the host is like, let me fix the internet and spend 5 minutes troubleshooting while you guys sit there. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the Fantagraphics books. Jeez. So we have a couple of Fantagraphics Underground books to show off, and then one Disney book, which is going to be part of their ongoing Disney single issues. So the first one is called My Year in Vietnam, which instantly hooks me. This coming out Veterans Day. Sounds like that might be on purpose, but it's the day after my birthday, even. Which that week there's a lot of good comics coming out, which is cool. But the myth of Pax Americana is revealed in Vietnam vet George Ryan's harrowing story, illustrated by Eve Gilbert. So it's supposed to be $30, 136 pages. It'll be paperback, full color, 8.6 by 11.1. So since this is Fantagraphics Underground and it has a smaller print run, they usually do carry a higher cover price on that. But this seems super interesting. So ultimately, My Year in Vietnam is a story of triumph and humanity of men rising against their country's worst impulses. Ryan's greatest act of resistance becomes his life, proving that the men who fought these wars can be more than weapons and fodder, but activists and paragons and fathers and grandfathers, thinking, feeling, beating hearts. So that's super up my alley. I love anything to do with Vietnam and the history of Vietnam. So yeah, I'll be picking that one up. And then here's another one called Sailing Alone Around the World. This is a graphic adaptation of Joshua Slocum's eponymous memoir, a classic account of early exploration and maritime literature. So it's a cartoon adaptation by John Buller of Joshua Slocum's, I'm guessing, previously released memoir. And it was okay. So in April of 1895, Captain Slocum took off from Boston aboard a 36-foot wooden sloop that he renovated himself and proceeded to sail around the world. A 3-year voyage of more than 46,000 miles, becoming the first person to single-handedly circle the globe. Upon his return, he wrote a memoir of his voyage, recounting his adventures, hair-raising encounters with pirates off of Gibraltar, raging tempests, and treacherous coral reefs, which is brought to vivid graphic life by cartoonist John Bowler. This will be a hardcover, 160 pages, black and white, 6.5 inches by 8.75. So I love that. So I'm assuming his memoir probably came out early 1900s. I've never heard of it. So it's cool to get a graphic novel adaptation. It's kind of preserving that in history with a new edition. And then we're getting Mickey Mouse, number 1, legacy number 331. So it'll be the 331st Mickey Mouse comic ever. This is going to be a single issue. The Phantom Blot's Double Revenge. So the Phantom Blot is returning, if you're familiar with the classic Mickey Mouse comic. The rumors are true. Mickey is once again an epic hero with an incredible rogues gallery. In our debut tale by fan favorite Andrea Castellan, Mickey's inky arch enemy, the Phantom Blot, invades Mousetown with an army of its own citizens cloned. Can Mickey beat back lots of duplicate blots or figure out which Minnie he's dating tonight? All this in a new super goof backup story too. So there's 3 cover options as well, which is interesting. This is a single issue comic, and Fantagraphics, they did variant covers for Red Room, Ed Piscor's Red Room, but it's not something they do very often. I don't know who did this classic cover. I don't know if it's Floyd Gottfredson art or not, but there are 2 other variant covers. And there'll be 40 pages, soft cover single issue, full color. I'm assuming this is an ongoing series. They're also bringing back Uncle Scrooge in an ongoing single issue series as well, which is pretty cool. So those are new ones coming out from Fantagraphics. Bum, bum, bum. Did you get the Nom Omnibus? I did not. Not yet. I plan to. I'm still waiting on an order to come in that I ordered a long time ago. I'll probably order it as my next order of something. I don't know. John, sucker for slipcases, and so now I got to buy my favorite thing is Monsters again. Damn Fantagraphics. Yeah, I did not opt for the slipcase edition of those because the books are the same. If it included something like extra or different, I might have had to pick them up. But I'm not the biggest fan. Like slipcases are cool, but the way I always think of them taking up shelf space. So like having that extra slipcase is going to take up a little bit of shelf space. Because some people collect like the Carl Barks library and the 2-in-1 slipcases where they put 2 volumes in a slipcase. And they collect them all that way. I don't, because I want to maximize my space. If I had all those slipcases for all those volumes, it would add up. Same thing for the EC volumes that I have on the EC's artist library. But so I'm not anti-slipcase, but that is something I consider. Oh, I love the Phantom Blots. Well, there you go. There's a single issue comic book for you to pick up. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I feel like that's all of it. Yeah. There was a story. Do I have one? Let me see first. I do. Just a moment. So Dr. Michael Vassallo, that is like the historian of Atlas Comics. Forgive me as I dust this off. And he does all the introductions for the Atlas editions that Fantagraphics is doing. One of the editions they're doing is these Atlas Artist Edition. I think they call them Creator Editions now. Only the first one's called Artist Edition. But regardless, there's big collections of Atlas artwork from one artist. And the first one was Joe Maneely. The second one was Bill Everett. No. Sorry. Al Williamson was the second one. Bill Everett's the third one, which I don't know. I think my Al Williamson's up there. It's buried though. The next one's gonna be Bill Everett, and Dr. Vassallo, who has a great Facebook follow, by the way. He talks about the process of collecting these comics for the scans and the touch-ups and stuff, and then also just like other historical Atlas era stuff. But he's been talking about the process of putting this Bill Everett series together, and he said there's going to be 2 volumes of the Bill Everett collections, because there's, rather than doing one thick volume, they're going to do 2 separate smaller volumes. But recently he said there's going to be 6 issues that they have to take out that were originally going to be put in there because of a rights issue with CBS. I guess it was like not an adaptation of a CBS radio show, but the title of the comic was Suspense, which was the name of a radio show from CBS. But the Bill Everett stories themselves are not the adaptations. So there's and it seems like Fantagraphics just doesn't want to deal with the idea of potentially CBS stepping in and forcing them to pay for these issues, rather than it seems like they're not even going to, Disney/Marvel is not even going to broach the subject with CBS. Now, the interesting part about that is Raving Maniac, which is one of the all-time great Stan Lee, Joe Maneely comics, was reprinted in this. Let me see if I can find it real fast. It's the issue that is pretty much a thesis on how crazy Frederick Wortham is. There's so many. Oh, there it is, 128. And that was originally published in an issue of that Suspense title I was referring to. So here it is. Raving Maniac is the story I'm talking about. It's a story of like this critic coming in and the editor and talking about how these comics need to be censored and whatnot. That was originally published in a Suspense issue. But and Marvel's reprinted that before as well. They reprinted it in some of the old I don't know what collection they reprinted it in. But Marvel's reprinted it. Fantagraphics has reprinted it via Marvel. But now they're I guess, and there's talk that maybe Marvel wasn't happy that they reprinted it in there, or Disney wasn't happy they reprinted it in there. I don't know. But that is an important note, because if you want this Joe Maneely collection, if Fantagraphics is ever able to reprint this, they probably will omit that story if this continues to be an issue. So I'm not trying to give you FOMO or freak anybody out, but if you're sleeping on this Joe Maneely collection, I'd try to pick it up sooner rather than later, because Fantagraphics has done that. So like the Carl Barks library is a good example. There's been volumes in that library where when they reprinted a volume, they had to omit a story for one reason or another, because Disney told them to, wanted to censor that story, or they had to change the dialogue in a story. Like, and some of them they added stories even, but they have a history of that. Upon a reprint, they have pulled stories out. So I wouldn't wait on the Joe Maneely collection too long if that's something that you want, because that Raving Maniac story in there, which is, I think it's only a 4-page story, but it is a great comic. You can find the comic online if you just look up Raving Maniac, Stan Lee, Joe Maneely. Scans of the comic are always pop up, because especially certain panels, like there's a panel on here too that I like to share a lot, especially when goofy Comicsgate people are being clowns. But let me see if I can find it. At least they know our readers aren't true. But I don't like your... Oh, yeah. It's this one right here where the guy's yelling at him. I don't know if I can share this on my... If you get that on my screen. This panel right here. And the crazy guy that's yelling at him says, "But I don't like your stories. You can't make me like them." It says, "Okay, so don't read them. Nobody's shoving them down your throat." I just love that, because people that are complaining about, I don't know, dumb things, race swapping characters, gender swapping characters, woke comics or whatever, you don't have to read them. Nobody's shoving them down your throat. But yes, so that story was in one of these Suspense issues that have now omitted from the Bill Everett collection. So that upcoming Bill Everett collection, which I think is still going to be 2 volumes, will have 6 stories taken out, unfortunately. And there was talk, Vassallo talked about maybe on his blog releasing scans of them just so people can read them, because people think they're public domain as well. So I don't know. Interesting, though. Interesting topic. Speaking of slipcases, I'm just noticing Taylor has the books from the Love and Rockets box set on his shelf, sans box. Don't worry, Harvey. I still have the box. But with the box, they don't fit on that shelf because these shelves are short. They're not like your normal K-Lac shelves. So I could actually they could not fit into that cube with the box. So, but I wanted to display them behind me because Love and Rockets is awesome. And actually like leaning over a little bit. But I also didn't want to get rid of the box. So I still have the box. Don't worry. Has anyone read the Fanta book, We Told You So? And is it good? Yes, I have the book. This is the book that Harvey's referring to. It's called We Told You So, Comics as Art. And this is a thick book. It's over 600 pages. And it's a complete historical account of Fantagraphics history. Let me take Harvey's comment off there. And it has like tons of like artwork and stuff in here too. I'm going to hold the book kind of awkwardly just to show you. But it's like a coffee table book. So it has like all his artwork and pictures and photographs. So it's not just a prose book. It has plenty of like historical artifacts in here as well. This is probably like the weirdest way to show off a book on camera, but it's the easiest way for me to do it right now. I will say the binding is really bad on this and notoriously bad. I don't think I've heard anybody have good binding on their copies. So I will warn you of that. But it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know. You can just re-glue it or something if you need to. But it's really, really good. If you love Fantagraphics and want to know all about their history, this takes them from the Comics Journal days, from even as early as Gary Groth's like first fanzines, where he did like the Fantastic Zine, I think it was called. And there's some comic strips in here as well, like the Fantastic fanzine that he did. Is that showing up? Yeah. So it takes you from the earliest days of Gary Groth doing fanzines to Comics Journal to, acquiring Love and Rockets and 8-Ball, Lloyd Llewellyn, Neat Stuff to Hate, all the way through to their history in, I think this book came out in 2016, I want to say. Yeah, 2016. So late 70s all the way through 2016 is in that book. It's an oral history too. So you have Tom Spurgeon and Michael Dean are doing the writing, but you have like interviews in here with Gary Groth, with Kim Deitch. Kim Thompson has some old interviews in here too. So I don't know, when did Kim Thompson pass away? Did this come out before he passed away? Hold on a second, actually. I just realized my laptop was not plugged in. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties today. But Kim Thompson was he passed away in 2013. Okay, so this did come out after he passed away. Kim Thompson was like the co-creator of Fantagraphics a little bit with Gary Groth. He's kind of in the Eric Reynolds role that Eric Reynolds is in now. But Kim Thompson, it's super important for comics because he was a translator for a lot of the foreign comics that we got brought over to the States that had never been translated before. But yeah, this is an amazing book. I highly recommend this for anyone that's fans of comic book history or Fantagraphics. I'm actually going to show this off on one of my TikTok Instagram reels. I'm filming today for the next week's worth. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts. I'm going to do one that's like 5 books about comics, and this will be one of them that I show off there. So yeah, highly recommend that. The Al Williamson Atlas edition is called Artist Edition 2. Okay. So they changed the name after that. Man, I really need to get those. They're really great books. All the Atlas books, like there's so much Atlas material. First of all, if Fantagraphics reprinted every single Atlas single issue comic book in its entirety, it would literally fill like a library. Like there's so many Atlas comics. So I don't know when they'll stop, when they'll be able to, like how much they'll be able to reprint. I'm going to keep getting them as long as I can and as long as I have shelf space for them. But if you don't have shelf space for those volumes, like the typical like Shiver As You Read and Police Comics and Girl Comics is coming out soon, I would recommend these because these are a good like kind of greatest hits collection and collecting a lot of like one singular artist's work. Joe Manili was an amazing artist. He had tragically passed away in a train accident prior to the Marvel Silver Age. So it's like the long running like what if story is like, what if Joe Manili was there for the Silver Age of Marvel? Because Joe Manili was Stan Lee's favorite artist to work with before Jack Kirby came back. And Jack Kirby came back to Marvel literally the week after Joe Manili passed away. It's this weird kind of comic book history anecdote. When is TCJ going to bring back the Blood and Thunder feature? Or is it just taking place in the comics these days? I don't know. I think it's on their newsletters. Is it not? Like the newsletters that come in your email with their digital version of TCJ? The Bill Everett volume is called Atlas Creator Collection. There we go. That's when they changed the name. What I'm picking up from is Taylor is saying, always give in to FOMO. Thanks, Harvey. Not what I was saying, but very humorous. It's worth getting the Manili collection just because it's incredible. Easily the best artist they had at Atlas. Yeah, truly an amazing artist. I love this back on the back. Let me take off James' comment there. The Namor picture here. Joe Manili only drew a few pictures of Namor. And I love Bill Everett Namor, especially in the Golden Age. I have the 2 Marvel omnibuses of that. But I would have loved to see Joe Manili do more Namor. If I don't act like it's being shoved down my throat, how am I going to make a big super chat money? Oh, that's right. That's how they make their money. What original art page is there next to them? Oh, that's my son's original art. It's not anything fancy. My son was published in a comic book, and this is his original art for the page that he was in. This is totally his creation, his writing and his drawing. It's called Idiom Town, and it's about taking idioms too literally. Hilarious comic. And he did that when he was only, I think he was 9 when he did that. But he was self-published, so I have it framed like it's a fancy original art piece. And I love it because it's my son. Tom Spurgeon was a good friend during the last few years of his life. He moved to Columbus. Okay. One of the best and smartest people I've ever known. I still miss him. Oh, one of James's best good friends. Yeah, Tom Spurgeon was an incredible comic book historian for sure. I'm sure you gathered lots of knowledge from him after Kim passed away. That hate ball shirt is dope. Have you gotten any other dummy zine stuff? I've not, Harvey, and it's tragic because I need to. There's no reason why I haven't. I just need to pull the trigger because the first issue that came out with Gary Panter and Pee-wee's Playhouse artwork is 100% up my alley. I have Pee-wee Herman back here. I love Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's one of my favorite shows ever as a kid. I got it on DVD when it first came out on DVD and loved it. And Gary Panter is an amazing artist that I absolutely love looking through his artwork. And so I need to pick that one up. And then the second volume is all about the Air Pirates, which did like bootleg, outlaw Mickey Mouse comics that they got sued by Disney for because they said that it was too close to what Mickey Mouse was. It wasn't different enough to make it parody, which is a good little bit of comic book history as well. So I still need to pick that up. The shirt is dope though. This is a reprint of the old shirt when they went on the Hate Ball tour. Klaus and let me pull off your comment. Klaus and Peter Bagg, 2 of my favorite cartoonists, and even on the back it has like the tour dates on it. But total reprint of the old classic shirt that came out during that time and done with permission by Peter Bagg and Dan Klaus. So it's not like a bootleg, I'm going to make all this money off of these cartoonists kind of shirt. There's no reason I haven't gotten it either. Okay, then I don't feel as bad. And I also I've been missed out on this too. The new Smoke Signal has all Gary Panter comics in there. no excuse for why I haven't picked that up either. Again, I love Gary Panther. I just have failed to pick that up as well. There's too many books and comics coming out these days. It's hard to keep up. But I am going to end on that note. I think Harvey was saying this book looks dope, and it is. So while I'll go through my last minute plugs, drop any last minute comments, and I will address them after I go through my plugs. So yes, let me change this. Everyone, please follow me on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, all those platforms. I am Taylor Talks Comics. I have been releasing TikToks / Instagram Reels / YouTube Shorts of shorter form content. So check those out. Support that. Really appreciate that. I've been getting a good response on those. Definitely especially on Instagram. So I'm going to keep that up. But also I'm going to have longer form content on my YouTube channel, pre-recorded content. Been a little lax on that the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to ramp it back up. A video coming out tomorrow showing off some of the latest books by Fantagraphics. And then on Friday, I'll be showing off Ocho, which is a self-published Kickstarter by Eric Mingle. And I have some other videos coming. Oh, I'm gonna do a video showing off all the Golden Age comics that I love. That was a request from a viewer saying that I always talk about Golden Age comics. Could I do a video on the ones that I love? Absolutely, and that'll be shown off. That video will come out probably Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided yet. Also, a video on Donald Duck Finds Pirate Gold. This is the first volume of the Carl Barks library. It's the most recent volume to come out because they released them out of order, but it is the first volume. So as the earliest Carl Barks Duck comics are in this volume, that will be coming out this weekend sometime. So yeah, TikTok, Instagram, I'll follow me all over there. Also, if you're watching this on delay, on the replay, comment down below. I reply to all comments. And I have a Discord as well. So let's see what you guys are saying here. Oh, they have a wood ring. Yeah, he has a lot of cool shirts up there. I was saying your son's art looks dope. Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, he's awesome. And he took a break from comics for a little bit, but he's ramped it back up now. He's trying to draw a manga, and he's trying to do it right to left orientation, like a manga, because that's what he's been reading lately. There's a lot of manga, and it's really cool. I don't want to mention the concept of it because I think it's a really kind of a unique idea. It's a sports manga, but it's not your typical sport. And he's been working on like character designs right now. And I keep telling him, like, just draw pages, just put pencil to paper and just start drawing pages. But he's been working on that lately. And hopefully he wants to self-publish it. And if he does, I'll definitely share information on that if you guys are interested. Here's the Discord link. Here's my TikTok link. The shirt blanks you're using look kind of cheap. The shirt blanks. What blanks? Oh, they're using look kind of cheap. Oh, on the dummy zine. This is a good quality shirt. It's not like soft and like fancy, but it's I think, I don't know. I can't look at the tag. It's a good quality shirt though. I've had this shirt since Christmas, and I've washed it after every time I've worn it, like you should. And I wear it like once a week probably because it's one of my favorite shirts. And it still holds up. Like the screen print on it still real strong. It's not fading at all. So, I mean, that's like, what are we in? September, 9 months worth of wearing and washing and still looks good quality. So I admit it. Or I advocate for it. I got to start indie comics merch business. I'll be in there with you. I'll help you out with that or join in with you or something. That'd be awesome. See you later. Have a great day. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Jordan. Until next week. Thanks, Taylor. Yes, I'll be back next Wednesday at noon Eastern, as I am here every Wednesday at noon Eastern live on Taylor Talks Comics Live. Thank you guys so much, and keep talking comics.